Okay, Most High in Christ. We up now. There we go. All right, all right. Shalom, shalom. We're in loud ISUPK here in the state of Virginia. ISUPK Virginia, Priestley Captain Natazak Nashar here in the Biblical Scripture Breakdown class. Y'all know what time it is. All right, all right, there we go. We up. Let's give everybody a few moments to get in here. As usual, y'all know the drill. Y'all signing for attendance Wednesday night. Virginia Scripture Breakdown class. All right. Of course, y'all got any questions, y'all type them in. Everybody just be sure that you sign in for attendance. All right. Give it just a few moments to get everybody in here. All right. We'll go over things in the Bible, of course. We'll go over things that you've seen in the Bible that you may have heard people say about the Bible that are not actually in the Bible, different quotes and things that you may have heard. You don't know where they came from. You don't know what they mean. You understand a lot of things that you've heard in your life growing up as a Christian or growing up as a Muslim. And if you are Black, Hispanic, or Native American, your entire life spectrum is through the lens of Christianity, just by default. If you've never went to a church before, your life spectrum is through the lens of Christianity. The ideas about what is right and wrong is based on, through, and about Christianity. If you grew up a Muslim your entire life, chances are you and a Christian have the exact same beliefs, except probably differ one or two things about what holy days to separate or eating pork. You believe you're going to die and go to heaven or die and go to hell. That comes from Christianity. And Islam comes from Christianity, the Roman Catholic Church, and their beliefs that they have shaped the world in that Christian mindset, and in the offset of what their misrepresentation of the Bible has spawned other religions from other nations of people that believe that there is something in the Bible for them because of Christianity teaching that the Bible is for and about all people, which is a lie, which is the only reason why an Arab would pick up the Bible and try to use the Bible to say anything for his people to make Islam validated, even though the Bible has nothing to do with the Arabs and they are not special to the God of the Bible. And he made it very clear by getting rid of Ishmael, who was the forefather of the Arabs that come from Abraham. They are not important to the Lord. They are not important to the Bible. But if you are trying to make something, your people, to be something special, of course, you will take the records, the greatest known records on the entire planet Earth, the most sold book in all history, the Bible, and try to make it mean something for you and your people. All right? Which is where all of the confusion comes in, is shaped under the lies that the Christian church has taught, which birth all of these different beliefs, all of these different religious sects, all of these different things, even the Protestant church, all of, hey, shalom, brother, shisha, brekatah, shalom, sis, yao, shemala, tachim, shah. All of these different beliefs and things that come from a bastardized understanding of the Bible. You understand? No other nation of people should have the Bible or think that anything about the Bible is for them, about them, belongs to them, or pertains to them. No other people should think that. And the only reason that an African, an Arab, a European, a Caucasian, a East Indian, a Polynesian, you understand, an Asian, the only reason that any other nation of people believes that there's something in the Bible that pertains to them and their people is because the Christian church, shalom, is because the Christian church has lied and said that the Bible is open and for everyone, and the God of the Bible is for everyone. So we're going to start. Everybody in here, we got y'all attendance. Officer Quashab, make sure you get the attendance down. Write them down, all right? Make sure that you're keeping up on that attendance. I know you got it. All right, so we're going to start, go over different things that you've heard in the Bible. Of course, you got any questions, just say Salakia, be able to come to them. All right, so we're going to start now in Micah chapter 2 and verse 1. We're going to start at Micah chapter 2, verse 1. That's in the so-called, that's in the Old Testament. Those y'all not familiar with Micah is, it's not a super popular book. You understand? Of course, we read the whole Bible, but it's not a very common book that you will see, you know, on a regular basis or that you'll hear a lot of. So Micah chapter, I just said that there. Micah chapter 2 and verse 1. The Lord says, woe, hey, shalom, brother, young man, Steve, all right, the Lord said, woe. You understand? Woe and destruction. Woe means destruction. It's old Quaker English. It means destruction. It means something bad is coming if you do what comes after this woe. It says, woe to them that devise iniquity. They create iniquity. Iniquity means sin. You understand? The only way to know what iniquity is to know what a sin is. Of course, if you've been in these Isupk classes for any point in time, a number of weeks, a number of hours, you will know what is sin. All right? Somebody type in, tell me what is sin. We got young man Stephen and his rib, Sister Charlotte in here, Sister Waraka, Sister Shaw. Y'all just type in, let's see, what is sin? All right, y'all just type in when y'all can. I'm going to keep moving because that's a pretty common concept. You understand? If you've been in the true any of our classes in ISUPK for any period of time, you know, hey, Shalom, Alabama, you know what sin is. Sin means to break God's laws, statutes, and commandments. All right? That's what a sin is. Okay? So when it says, woe unto them, destruction unto them that devise iniquity, meaning they find new ways to make you sin. You understand? They find new ways to make you sin. All right? There was a long time that even by the medical, there you go, sis, transgression of the law. The medical community considered homosexuality a mental disorder. You understand? Like a dog who tries to meow, or a cat who tries to bark. You understand? Or a fish that tries to jump out of the water and fly, or a bird, you know, that tries to do things, a person that crawls on all fours like a dog. You understand? Yeah, it was categorized as a mental illness for a very long time. And then our oppressor devised a way to make something that was obviously a mental illness, to make it not be a mental illness, to make it acceptable, to make it popular. They devised a way by putting it in the cartoons. I was just discussing this with a brother the other day, saying the first time that you would probably see a man dressed up like a woman, you understand? Well, of course, when I was growing up, now y'all probably see it all the time. If you were born in the last 20-something years, you see it all the time. You got Medea and any of your stars that want to be a big superstar that wants to let Esau know that they're down to do whatever, they'll put on lipstick and a dress at the heartbeat, and then you'll see their career just blow up. You understand? But there was a time where you did not see that everywhere. That was not accepted in the Black or Hispanic or Native American community. You could not act like you had too much sugar in your blood. You couldn't talk with too high a pitch in your voice. You couldn't have too much bend in your wrists. Your hip, you couldn't move and slide around too much close to where someone would think that this cat might be a little feminine. He moved around like grandma. You couldn't wear grandma's slippers. Somebody's going to say, put that down, boy, that's a purse. That's for girls. Now you see men wearing purses. Men wearing the same heels that women is wearing now. Women wearing the same, you understand? They blur the gender lines. And God never wanted it to be that way. God never wanted the lines to be blurred to where you have to guess. Is this a man? Is this a woman? That is against God. That battle of the sexes. I'm woman and I'm man, and we battling of the sexes. Who's the strongest? That's where that WNBA came from. That nobody goes to see at all, to see gigantic women doing layups. Nobody's going to see it. Nobody nowhere is going to see it. Y'all like it? No sweat. But nobody's going to see those games. That's why Brittany Griner is over in Russia getting arrested with weed in her vape pen, trying to make some actual money playing basketball, because nobody wants to see women playing basketball. That battle of the sexes, trying to make equality between men and women. Now you have women doing things that men were doing. You understand? That our oppressor created that battle of sexes. You understand? Your woman fighting up against you, talking back to you, fighting up against you, challenging you for the authority of the house, challenging you for the authority over the children, challenging you on what she's going to do and not do. And I can wear what I want and you don't own me. It was not like that in any culture before. Our oppressor pioneered that evil to teach a woman that she did not have to come under the authority of her father, of her husband. That's why the Lord said, woe unto them that devise iniquity. Of course, we know in the Bible, how do we know what is iniquity? We know something is iniquity, like the sister Warwick said, because it is a sin. How do we know what is right and what is wrong? What is a sin? That's why the Lord sent out the prophets to teach our people. That's why in 1 Corinthians chapter 11 and 3, it says, I will have you know that the head, as a matter of fact, let's pull that. I want to make sure I get that perfectly quoted, because someone devised evil to make women think that they do not have to come under the authority of their man. And it was an evil thing to devise to make men think that they are not responsible for the women that they lay down and have sex with. You are responsible for that woman like a father is responsible for those children. This evil society devised wickedness to take the power, the authority, and the rulership of that father, chiefly of the Black, Hispanic, and Native American man, from that father to put the mother in charge. And really, so that she can rely on America and America's police force for protection and law, and America's assistance for financing and help, for education, and America's religion of Christianity to direct her to how to serve God. What is my life about? Paying taxes, making money, and it rose up a bunch of vanity when you separate a woman from the natural purpose that God created a woman for, which is to serve her man. Not all man, not America's man, not our oppressor. The Lord made a Black, Hispanic, and Native American woman solely to serve a Black, Hispanic, and Native American man. Same reason he made a Chinese man and he gave her a Chinese woman just like him. He made a Korean man and a Korean woman. He made a white man and a white woman. Their bodies are built for each other. Their anatomies are built for each other. Their interests are built for each other. Their families are built for each other. You understand? They know how to prepare food. A devil knows how to prepare food. They're not worried about washing the meat and washing the chicken and getting the blood. They're not worried about cooking the burger all the way. Their burger is just fine pink, all in the middle with blood dripping down. That is for them. If you are Black, Hispanic, and Native American, we don't eat our food that way. We need lots of seasoning, lots of flavor, good amount of butter, good amount of peppers and spices. Wash the meat, cook it, season it, make sure it's all the way done. There's no pink. Make sure there's no red. Make sure there's no blood. We are a different type of people. The Moabites, the Chinese, they eating food, they're still alive. You can go on the internet and see a Moabite, she eating an octopus, the octopus still moving. She eating a goldfish, the goldfish flapping around, she gonna swallow the damn goldfish. Even a grizzly bear will rip the fish apart before it starts eating. Like, we are not the same. And it was an evil thing, and it was iniquity to make all people come together in one place. That is against God. And America pioneered that. Rome pioneered that. Babylon pioneered all races of people coming together, and God has been against it since the days of Adam, since Genesis, since Deuteronomy, since the days of the flood with Noah. After the flood in Genesis, the 10th and 11th chapter, the earth is filled with people again. God starts dividing people up and making them separate nations, separate races, separate languages, and pushes them to different parts of the world because God does not want all people together. You understand? It is iniquity, it is evil, it is sin to put all people together. God has been against that from the very beginning. And when the Lord says, woe unto them that devise iniquity, These are just some examples of what the Bible is talking about. All right. So 1 Corinthians chapter 11 and verse 3. All right. 1 Corinthians 11 and 3. Hey, Shalom, Yerashim Shabrakatah. You got 11 and 3. You got to unmute your mic. Your mic's still muted, I believe.
Oh, so like it says, unmuted now.
All right, I hear you now, but you sound a little low. Okay. 1 Corinthians 11 and 3. Let's get that.
Kanawaka, sir. 1 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 3. But I would have you know that the head of every man is Christ.
This is something that the Lord wants to make sure that does not get forgotten. That's why it's even written and illustrated further in the New Testament. It was never supposed to be a question that everything in life had a hierarchy. You understand? Everyone had to answer to someone. Hey, shalom, sis. Y'all shmal shema b'shah. Shalom, Makim. All right. Shalom, young man in Chester. All right, brother. Shivsha Bergatha. All right. The Lord wanted you to know. I will have you know. Meaning, I want to make sure you understand. I'm stating this as a fact that the head, meaning the power, the authority, someone that you are responsible to. It is an evil thing, this freedom of everything, freedom of action, freedom of choice, freedom of living, free to do whatever the hell you want. That's against God. God has restrictions and boundaries that if you want to do something, God has things set up to let you know that you cannot do it. Suppose you have a demon on you that tells you that you as a man like how beautiful dresses are, and it's not good enough for you to like to see a woman in a beautiful dress. You want to put the goddamn dress on yourself like Young Thug. You understand? Well, God has a boundary that is set that even though you may like how beautiful the dress is, and a demon might come to you telling you maybe you should wear the dress, you know you can't do it because God has boundaries that a man cannot wear what pertains to a woman. So no matter how much a demon will come and tell a brother that that might be the case, you know you can't do it because God has rules. You understand? So keep going.
Sir. And the head of the woman is the man.
The head of the woman is the man. It is an evil thing, like Micah in the 2nd chapter that we were reading, for someone to come and tell you that a woman is not under a man's authority, that the woman and the man are equal. You understand? They would never tell a woman that the white man and the black woman or the white man and the Hispanic woman are equal. They will only say that to devise a wedge between you and your woman. You understand? The oppressor pioneers that battle of the sexes, gender equality. Now they got to it so much, they got little boys, they got men that are horrible and not athletic at all compared to other men. They'll go and get a push-up bra, put on some lipstick, curl their damn hair up, and now this gigantic man with man testosterone and big man feet, muscles, bones is competing against women and crushing them at everything, at swimming, at this, at boxing, at fighting, because it was evil from the very beginning to devise that gender war, that gender equality, that battle of the sexes. It was evil to start that from the very beginning. You understand? That's why the Bible says our oppressor is the children of fools. It's a very foolish thing. You understand? And now you're seeing just how far that foolishness is going. So keep reading.
Sir. And the head of Christ is God.
Even Christ has a head or a power and authority over him. Christ is not free to just do whatever he wanted. Christ, when they came to crucify him, Christ said, Father, if it be another way, let this cup pass from me. Because he knew they were coming to kill him and crucify him and beat and humiliate him and kill him and torture him until he died on a cross. He knew that, but it was not his will. He had to answer to the Father. This was the Father's plan from the very beginning. This was his plan. And he didn't follow what he wanted because he had to answer to the Most High, which is why man is not supposed to follow what man wants. Man has to answer to Christ, which is why there's a chain of command and an order. A woman is not allowed to do whatever she wants. Her life is filtered through the lens of what her father says is acceptable. then that father finds another man to take over his responsibility for caring for that daughter, and she will raise up a family with this new father or this new daddy or this husband, and then she will have to give a report to him from now on. He will be responsible for her from now on. However many wives he decides to take, you understand? Like this, so this is just to get some information what it's talking about. The Lord said it's an evil thing to devise iniquity. But if you don't know what iniquity is, which the Christian church does not teach our people, you will be completely lost looking at scriptures your whole life, and you'll have no idea what they're actually talking about. You understand? It'd be like if you're driving a car and you're driving and it's dark and there's no lights on. So much more of what is around you you can see once you cut the lights on. Then you get a light, then you cut your high beams on. And some cars have fog lights. Now you got double and triple the amount of light so you can see what is going on in front of you, around you, what's over there, what's ahead. That's what coming into the truth is. You understand? That's why so much is equated to the light of the world and this and a candle and understanding, and my eyes were open. You understand? So we're going to get into a lot of that tonight. All right. So drop that. We're going to go now back to Micah chapter 2 and verse 1, where we were. All right. Christ said, them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds, meaning they are in their bed working evil. They're thinking of evil while they are yet in their bed. You understand? You might be going to sleep wondering about the light bill and the phone bill, and when is that due? And is the homework done? Is the kids sleep? Is the clothes cleaned? Is the insurance paid? Is this going on? Okay, I need to do this. What's my schedule for this day? You understand? Is that somebody up? Do I got to change somebody? What's going on? Well, in our oppressor's bed, they are thinking of new ways to do evil. You understand? How can I teach a woman? How can we make these Black and Hispanic families smaller? How can we do that? They have something called think tanks where they sit around and they come up with ideas how to maintain their power by destroying and stealing from everybody else. You understand? Let's say, how can we devise a way to stop these gigantic families with this family making 8 and 9 babies apiece? I'll tell you what. We'll wipe out their economy, and then we'll pass a law that if they're too poor, we'll take their kids away. We'll give them housing, but we'll get rid of that father. So then we can make a bunch of broken homes and families that don't have any head over them, and then a generation or two later, that entire race will be destabilized. That's what they're trying to do with the tribe of Isupk and our Hispanic tribes in Central and South America. That's what they've been trying to do. That's why they're not aborting enough babies like the rest of the tribes born and raised here in America, because the language barrier is kind of stopping Esau from the evil that he really wants to do. So they said, well, you know what? Let's make sure that these drug cartels destabilize the whole Central, South, and North America so that everyone flees to us, to North America, where there's some sort of safety, and then we'll get them at the border and take all their kids away. And now we'll make a generation of parentless children, which is what they sought out to do with the tribe of Judah and Benjamin, the rest of the tribes here that was already in America. You understand, with the crack, with the mandatory minimum prison sentences, wiping out our economy. They devised a plan step by step every generation, just like they lay out the budget for the next 10 years. Who's going to be in the Senate? What are the policies and the track records for this president, for this bill, for this and that? They work these things out about how to oppress our people in stages. You understand? They work these things out. Hey, shalom, sis, y'all, shemala, thashimel shah. All right. And the Lord is saying destruction unto them. And when the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand. Because they have the power to do it, they'll go and kill because they have the power. They'll go and murder because they have the power. They'll steal your kids away just because they have the power. They'll steal your home and your house and your land because they have the manpower, just like any beast would do, even more so than a beast. because the lion is only going to take what he needs. You understand? He's not just going to kill indiscriminately just for the hell of it. They're only going to eat that one wildebeest or that one buffalo or whatever it is that they're going to eat. They're not just out killing everything. You understand? So let's get some more. Take me to Micah chapter 2 and verse 2. Let's get some more.
Micah chapter 2, verse 2.
Let me know if y'all can hear me clear on Instagram. Just let me know if y'all can't hear me, all right? And let me know if y'all can hear my reader as well. Go ahead, Urash.
Sir. And they covet fields.
They covet fields. What does it mean to covet? You understand? What does it mean to covet? You damn right, sister. That's beyond evil. You damn right. It's very evil. Like we always say, it seems nice now because they're able to get the Starbucks and the latte, and Trader Joe's still has all the good lettuce. They're not eating the same bag of lettuce and the strawberries you get home. Half of them is spoiled. Their bananas last longer. Their bread is fresher with better ingredients. Their fish is fresher. Their beef is all hormone-free and grass-fed. All of those old kind of things there. They have the best and the most pristine. Well, when they don't have it, that's when the rest of our people are going to learn the hard way that the oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks of. You understand? So what does it mean to covet? Go ahead, Urash, you got that. Matter of fact, let me get this on a bit. Go ahead. What does covet mean?
Sir. The definition of covet, to desire what belongs to another inordinately or culpably.
Read it again.
Sir. The definition of covet in the Merriam-Webster's dictionary, to desire what belongs to another inordinately or culpably.
Inordinately, meaning desires what belongs to another. That's why the Lord had to put a law in the Bible. You understand? Thou shalt not covet. Don't covet, man. C-O-V-E-T. And these are evil things that our oppressor promotes with his music, with his soap operas. You understand? Exodus chapter 20 and verse 17. I'm going to just read that real quick. You can stay with it. It says, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house. Don't look at your neighbor's house. And read that definition one more time so we can fill that in.
Sir. To desire what belongs to another.
Don't
inordinately.
Inordinately. It's one thing to look at that house and say, man, that's a beautiful house, man. I like that house. I want to look at that driveway. Look at how the grass. You might want to go and talk to your neighbor. Well, listen, how did you get that house? You know, what company did you use? What type of credit score do I need so that I can look at it? Me and my rib can look at this down the line and see, you know, how we might be able to get a house. You understand? Let me see, you know, how you get that. What type of paint is that? That's real nice. Where did you get that from? You understand? That's the Lord is saying, don't desire inordinately. There's one thing to see something nice and say, okay, well, how can I get me one? How can I get one? But don't desire it to the point that you are now going to plot how you can steal your neighbor's house. And that's what our oppressor did. When he came to the land of the tribe of Gad and Issachar, he was not like a normal man. It's not like you looking at how nice this is, somebody helping you, taking care of you. That's nice and wonderful. He is the devil that the Bible speaks of. When Columbus saw the Taínos, when they landed in Puerto Rico, they said that this people is wonderful, the land is beautiful, and we must enslave and start murdering and raping immediately because of how beautiful and lush and plentiful it is. We must kill everybody, enslave people, murder, rape, and take it over for ourselves. That was their immediate thoughts. You understand? And the Lord wants you to put that in your spirit so that you can train your spirit and your mind to understand that even though this is Becky in Starbucks, this is Rosy Cheeks Rosie, this is Becky, this is Amber, that Amber is a murderer. Amber Geiger. Both of them, Gene, did not realize that Amber Geiger was a murderer until it was too late. Martin Luther King did not realize, I don't know why he didn't realize, that the oppressor was the devil that the Bible speaks of until one was putting a round through his head and then he had to wake up as a baby. You understand? James Byrd did not realize until it was too late. He didn't realize that it was too late. So many of our people did not realize why God gave us these boundaries and rules until we were at the bottom of cargo slave ships when you thought it was a good idea to join the Hamites when we were in Africa. You understand? Like these are lessons the Lord has been trying to teach us over and over again for thousands of years at this point. All right. So Exodus 20 and 17, hold that Micah where you are. The Lord says, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife. You understand? Don't devise a way to take your neighbor's wife. Do not have sex with your brother's woman. Don't have sex with a woman. Don't devise a way for you to be alone with somebody else's woman. Don't do that. Go and get your own woman. There are women everywhere. Everybody damn near has a daughter. Go and find some other woman that does not have a man. Don't do that. You understand? Go and find your own beautiful woman. You like Hispanic women? They're everywhere. You like black women? You like Jamaican, Haitian women? They're everywhere. Go and find them. Find one that does not have a man and talk to them. You understand? Don't try to talk to your brother's wife. Try to hang out and sit down and have dinner with her so she can tell you about all of how her day was and all of this old kind of stuff. Don't do that. Don't do it. You understand? Don't covet your neighbor's wife, which is damn near all of the music since we've integrated. It's about some brother, I'm going to take your girl. I'm going to take your girl. It's to steal your girl. Megan Thee Stallion and Corey, you understand, all kind of problems. Don't be with another man's woman. You understand? Don't do that. It's against God, and America promotes it. It promotes adultery, promotes you renting out your wife, having damn swinger parties, going on sex retreat vacations so that you can share your damn wife and swiping wife swaps and partners every goddamn where. Don't do that. Our oppressor pioneers this evil that the Lord is against. You understand? Don't do that. Nor his manservant, nor his maidservant. Don't devise a way to steal his employees that work for them. Those servants will be your employees. Of course, we did not have such a word as an employee. We had manservants, maidservants, or servants, or minister, which is another word that just means servant. You understand? Nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is thy neighbor's. Don't devise a way to steal from your brother. Steal his car, to rob him. That car is nice. You don't want to go and work and get it, so you want to take a gun and rob him for it. His shoes, his coat, all throughout the ghetto and the hood. The tribe of Judah infamous, stealing everybody's goddamn shoes, stealing your bike. You understand? A lot of the evil and things that happened to our people growing up that no one ever forgives anybody for, because you never get justice with a bunch of criminals riding around coveting thy neighbor's goods, stealing your basketball, stealing your bike, stealing your shoes, stealing your coat. When I was coming up, people used to get shot in the legs so that they would take your damn North Face jacket off. So they didn't shoot the jacket. They would just shoot you and take the jacket if you didn't give it up. Or they would shoot you and steal your Jordans or steal your Timberland boots. You understand? That was real popular when I was little. The Lord said, don't do that. But of course, if you were raised Christian and your life is about holidays and you worship the oppressor who is a robber and a murderer and a thief who has sex with other brothers' women, who robs and kidnaps and rapes and murders, you will follow his example, which is what Christianity teaches our people to do, which is why our Christian communities are filled with murder and crime and violence and suffering and poverty, and no one can ever get justice. Everyone is constantly offending and wronging everyone. Everyone hates everyone. No one gets any justice, and everything is just destroyed. You understand? That's why we have counsel here in Isupk. Unlike in the Christian church, where everyone is allowed to do everything, if your brother or sister offends you, you go to he and thee alone. You need to be able to go and talk to them about an offense that has happened. You understand? You're not allowed to just offend and hurt and rob and just crush and be inconsiderate to each other just because I'm bigger than you, or I'm older than you, or you're poor and I'm rich, or you have a good education and I don't, or you live over there and I live over here, or you are this tribe and I'm that tribe, or you are this and I'm that. That is not acceptable in this house, because we actually have love for one another and we follow the rules that our King Yahweh Shah laid down. So we have councils in here. You understand? Get everything fixed and straightened out. Okay? So this is what the Lord is saying. Don't steal from your brother. Don't do that. You understand? Maybe the Lord doesn't want you to have something because you don't know how to take care of anything. Maybe if you got blessed with a house, you wouldn't cut the damn grass. You wouldn't steam or vacuum the carpet. You wouldn't clean the dishes out of the sink. You leave junk and trash everywhere and have mice and roaches running over to be a disgrace with the blessing that the Lord gave you. Maybe that's why the Lord don't bless you with anything. Maybe if you weren't such a monster, that the Lord would bless us with things. If we obeyed the Lord, then the Lord would be on our side. Maybe if we stopped going to church and making pastors rich, or stop spending all of our money on whores and weed and Percocets, then we would have all the wealth and power and riches in the world if we stopped sinning against the Lord, which is what we are teaching our people to do. You understand? Okay, so let's get some more. Give me that Micah chapter 2 and verse 2 again.
Micah chapter 2 verse 2. And they covet fields.
They covet a field, meaning they covet. This is one thing if you covet your neighbor's house or his car or his dog. You want it in a disordinate proportion where you're going to try to find a way to steal it, to take it. You got to kill, you're going to get it. But our oppressor is beyond just taking something. They covered a field, meaning they covered your whole country, all of America, all of the land of the Aztecs, all of the land of the Mayan, all of Central and South America. They covet a field. Keep going.
And take them by violence.
By what?
By violence.
Meaning they look at a field that they want that belongs to someone else, and then they go and take your country by violence. That's what the army is for. That's what the Roman legions were for. That's what the Greeks did. That's why we celebrate Hanukkah every year, celebrating the Lord, our battle, our war against the Greeks to take back our land, because the Greeks coveted our fields and took them by violence. You understand? Like that's what happened to the tribe of Gad, the tribe of Rehoboam. That's how they got our land in 70 AD. They destroyed our capital city and the Roman armies under General Pompey. You understand? They captured our capital city and they took our land by violence. That's how they got Saudi Arabia and Turkey and Iraq and Iran and Afghanistan and Israel and Palestine. They took land that belonged to us. They coveted it and they took it from us because the Lord was not with us. You understand? It says they take them by violence, and houses. They take someone else's house by violence. If you don't pay the property tax on your house that your great-great-grandfather bought, they're going to come and take your house away. If you say, this is my land, this is my home, this belonged to my father's father's father, this is our family land, they will come with their sheriffs. They'll come with their marshals. They'll come with their sheriffs. They'll come with their police and their shotguns and their Glocks and their rifles and their canine dogs and their authority, and they will stick guns in your face and throw you and your family on the street or put you in jail and take your house by force. It should not be that way. That's a very evil system to where you can lose your home. That's against the Lord. But in this evil society, it is very common. It is a natural part of life. When in reality, no one is supposed to be able to take your land away. That's an act of war. That's why when the U.S. military went into Iraq and Afghanistan, all of the tribal people on their own land saw this invading force, and they immediately went to attack them. Because you should not be able to just roll in my land and take whatever you want. You understand? That's how free men think. Okay? So keep going.
And take them away.
They take away your whole house. Keep going.
So they oppress a man and his house.
They oppress a man and his house. Not only did they oppress the man, they oppressing the man and his house. When they took the homes away from our Native American brothers and sisters, they oppressed them by forcing them to discontinue from their heritage. That man and his strength, the territory that a man is supposed to have, they stole that territory in that land. On that land are resources: grass, wood, trees, clay, soil for you to plant your crops. The fruits and vegetables that you eat, they're supposed to be grown on the land of your people. The reason why we don't have fruits and vegetables that we eat, we get our fruits and vegetables from our oppressor, from the land that their family stole from the tribe of Gad to build their pineapple, to build their, their grape vineyards, to plant their cucumbers, their vegetables and potatoes. All of this land belongs to the tribe of Gad. What doesn't belong to Gad belongs to Issachar. Well, they stole it. They murdered them. They took it by violence. And now they oppress those people. You don't have land for your own resources. Your cattle are gone. Your horses are gone. Your cows are gone. Your sheep are gone. Your vineyards with your grapes and your cucumbers are gone. Your farmland is gone. Now they will take your authority over your family. Your woman has been taken from you. They devise iniquity to tell your woman she don't have to listen to you anymore, because now the oppressor will provide her with land and housing and education and job, even give her a God to worship, which is what's in that Christian church. You understand? The Lord said, wives, obey your husbands as unto the Lord. Your husband is supposed to be the Lord that you are serving. The service of obeying God and the Most High, most of that is left to the men. The Lord is a man of war. A woman's job is to serve her husband. If she does not have a husband, that is something that the men of the Lord, that is why she would stay with the priests. And then they would find a man to marry her off to. If she was not a widow, if she wanted a husband, they would find that. It was never supposed to be a million single women just floating around the house of the Lord, which is what the Christian church teaches. That was never how it was supposed to be set up. You understand? That defeats the whole purpose of the Lord even making a woman. But again, so much is out of order because of the Christian church that life doesn't make proper sense because of our oppressor. You understand? So keep going.
Kind of a con, sir. Even a man and his heritage.
A man and his house is oppressed. Now the father is oppressed. He's removed out of the whole damn house. Now the woman is under oppression because she is doing something that God never intended for a woman to do, which is she is now facing life head on. She's facing everything. The phone calls, the knock at the door, the issues with the house, the issues with the stove, the flooding, the plumbing with the bathroom, the paint's chipping, the car needs this and that, problems at the job, the kids won't listen. All of that, she is now facing head on instead of the filter that the Lord created for those problems and issues to be filtered through her man. And then he will say, what is important? This is how we're going to deal with this. This is how we're going to deal with that. I'm going to deal with this. You do this, this, and this. This is how we're going to deal with that. Like they oppress a man to the point where a brother does not know how to be in rulership and authority anymore, because that father would train his son to take over his land, his resources, the family. By the time you were 15 or 16 decades ago, you were considered a full-grown man. You know how to do this, take care of the family, secure this, cut the grass, work on cars. You damn near had your whole career and everything planned out for you. You might have been being trained by some uncle or some older relative how to be a mechanic or a plumber or to weld pipes or do a brick mason. You'd have damn near years and years of skill that have been taught to you by your own family and relatives. That's why they had to oppress our heritage of us being close to each other so that they can pull us apart. Now you got to wonder, what am I going to do? Where am I going to work? How am I going to eat? A part of your heritage in your house was you had food, you had land, you got water, you got resources. They took all of that from us. So now we are living to survive. I got to work to get water. I got to work to get food. These were curses that came from the Most High from us not obeying him. And as we turn back to the Most High and build our nation up, we gathering our resources, gathering love for one another, rebuilding our families, rebuilding our communities, getting farms, getting resources, getting pantries, filling deep freezers, you understand, slaughtering our own bull, our own lambs, feeding our own people, repairing the damage that has been done to us by our oppressor. You understand? I'm going to come to your question in just a minute, sis. Like, and it says they oppress a man and his heritage. You understand? That's why they want you to shave off your beard. It is the Israelite heritage for a man that can grow a beard to wear your beard. That's a sign of a free man. That's why your mama in church, she wants you to shave that beard off. She wants you to get rid of that hair. She don't want you with that bush and that afro and them braids if you still grow or got hair. She want to get rid of that. That's too much masculinity. That's too much freedom. That's too much not Christian. Too strong. You understand? Too much bass in your voice. Too much strength. Too much warrior. Too much masculinity. They got to cut and oppress that down. Don't talk so rough. Speak lighter. They're going to be afraid of you. You got to lighten yourself. You can't fight back. You can't stand up. You can't show that you angry. You got to, that's not the spirit of God. You just got to sing. You just got to praise. Like they want to suck the masculinity out of you when that is how you have a nation. That is our heritage that they oppress. That's why if you want to exercise your strength, then you got to find an outlet. You got to go to sports. You got to go to football. You got to go to boxing. You got to go to Esau's military. You understand? Because you aren't free to use it to better your nation because they oppress a heritage. Like they forced the Native American brothers to cut their braids off. You understand? They forced Isupk, cut your hair off. Isupk hair real thick and long and curly with all kind of big, good, strong beards. You understand? Tons of brothers. Well, they oppress a heritage so that, well, you know, we don't want to make no waves. We don't want to stand out. We a guest here. When in reality, they stole this land from Isupk. And they oppress brothers and sisters to the point where they're afraid to even be seen in places, man. That's evil that's been done to us, and they're going to pay for that. The Lord is going to charge them for that. You understand? You got something, Gary? Go ahead, brother.
Oh, Salaki, sir. It's going to be based off the sister's question. If I could use this precept to answer the question, that's all, sir.
All right. Let me look at the question first. It says, what he doesn't take on that role. What is that woman to do other than take over? What if he doesn't? Okay, I think you responded to something that I said earlier. Like, what if a man does not take on that role? What is a woman to do other than take over? And you said you had a preset. Let me know if I'm understanding your question properly, sister. Just type in if I'm understanding, if I'm reading your question right. All right. And go ahead. What you said, Urash, you said you had a scripture.
Salaki, I was seeing if it was a good precept in 1 Corinthians chapter 9 and 5.
You said 1 Timothy?
Salaki, 1 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 5.
Okay, 1 Corinthians 9 and 5. Go ahead.
It says, have we not power to lead about a sister, a wife, as well as other apostles, and as the brethren of the Most High, and Cephas?
Maybe I'm missing something in what you were trying to pull out.
Well, Salaki, sir, as in when it comes to a sister, she's still within the school, correct, sir? As in, so she would still have brothers in charge of her, so to say.
Okay.
Like a camp leader.
Okay, I think I see what you're saying. Like an order leader.
Right, Karawakan, sir.
Is that what you say? Okay, come. Yeah. All right. Well, that is what we are here doing in the school. You understand? Our people are in a hole, and this hole is centuries and centuries old. And we are fighting to change the narrative and fighting to teach our people how to do these things. You understand? We're coming out of slavery. Being a free person is not something that a slave knows how to do. Like if a man is responsible or doesn't want to handle responsibilities, is she supposed to do? Then she would call and she would get counsel. You understand? there are a lot of things. There are many things that a brother might not know how to handle a responsibility, because like what I'm mentioning here, the heritage to be able to handle responsibilities and be in rulership over things, that was oppressed and taken out of our community, not individual, not every single family or household. That was stripped out of our community as a whole. You understand? Because it was a society where fathers were in charge of everything, not just in that neighborhood, from block to block, city to city. That determined what went on in the households, what went on with the family, what went on outside, what went on in the streets. That's why it's imperative that men that have the spirit of the Lord come in, and that we build up a society teaching our people how to do things the proper way. You understand? A lot of things our people just don't understand. You understand? There's a lot of things that brothers are not being taught. They don't have any idea about it. That's why it's very important to be in these classes. You understand? It's very important to be in the classes. A lot of things about responsibility. You understand? America does not teach Blacks, Hispanic, and Native Americans, men or women, about responsibility. It keeps our people as a state of being a child. You understand? Always needing another nation to do this, another nation to make sure the community is clean, another nation to make sure that the kids are going to school, to be on top of the homework, to be on top of the this and the that. Needing another nation, which is a curse from the Most High. And us coming back to serve the Most High, we have to fight against those curses. You understand? There are plenty of things that sisters want a man to do, that they want a man to do, that is not necessary. But in a sister's mind, this may be something that she very much wants and desires, and wants her husband to do that. And the man is just saying, I don't think we need this. I don't think we need this. This don't need to be redone. We don't need to buy a new one. We got one already. It's not working. There are many instances like that from a case-by-case basis. You understand? That's a very broad thing, but that's why we have counseling. You would have a counseling, you would sit and you would talk. Sometimes I have seen this happen, that many times a sister wants to do something. You understand? You said handle responsibilities. It depends on what responsibilities you are talking about. Because I'm reading your questions here, what you're saying. Said to handle responsibilities. Is she not supposed to? Yes, a woman can handle responsibilities. The Bible does not say a woman cannot handle responsibilities. When you go to Proverbs, the 31st chapter, it's talking about a ton of responsibilities that a virtuous woman is very skilled at. Like going out and bringing back money and buying a field and working and feeding the household and sewing and making garments of tapestry. She prepareth and bring her food and goods from afar like a merchant ship. You understand? When you go into Titus, it talks about different skills that a woman will have. That the aged woman teach the younger woman to be sober, to have a clear head and a mind, to be temperate, to have patience, to not be so impetuous, trying to run off and do everything, to say whatever comes to mind, to do and act on whatever they feel at the moment. Like there's an aged woman that is supposed to teach things to a younger woman, to be sober, to be keepers at home. A lot of sisters have not been taught that they have to be at home. A lot of sisters were raised to go wherever they want. I got my money. I want to take a trip. I'm in Dubai. I'm in Florida. I'm in Memphis. I'm in Tennessee. You understand? I'm in Dubai. I'm in Canada. I'm in Mexico. I'm all over the world like Carmen Sandiego. Well, the aged woman is to teach a younger woman, you understand, to be sober, to be temperate, to be discreet, not having all of your business out on the street. Be discreet about what you dress, not exposing your body and your behind and your breasts, all of your personal business and what's going on in your household and with your family to the world and to the streets and to the goddamn red table talk. You understand? And to Gayle King and to Oprah and Twitter and Instagram and OnlyFans and Snapchat. Like all of these things, an aged woman was supposed to teach, but she wasn't teaching that. She was teaching, long as you got King Jesus, you don't need nobody else. She wasn't teaching her daughter how to be a wife that cooks and sews and clean, how to be patient. Why are you being patient? Because when you become a wife and a mother, you're going to have to learn how to be patient. You might want things done a certain way, and your husband don't want them done that way. I want to get new carpet. No, we don't need no new carpet. This carpet fine. Well, let's get a new chair. I don't need a new chair. My chair just fine. Well, I think we should get this and this. Well, the kids, they need new these. No, that's all right. They don't need that. Well, I want to put them in this school over here. We ain't got the money for that. We're not doing that. They're going to go to that school over there. Well, I just think, well, I understand that you may have your own thoughts and your feelings, because as a female, not just for this sister asking the question, but for sisters in general, the way that a woman is and the way that a man is are not the same. We don't speak the same language. Our brains don't function the same. We don't reason with life the same. We don't perceive things the same way. You understand? And the Lord had it set up that way. All right. So, you know, it's many different things, but this is what all of those women sitting in that church, wasting their time, sitting up underneath of that pimp and that pedophile, showing sisters that they're supposed to be serving the Lord. They're supposed to be at home with those sisters in a kitchen and in the laundry room, showing them this is how you separate the colors and the whites. This is how you get the stains out of this. This is how you sew up the pants so you don't have to keep buying new pants every time your kids tear this. This is how you make a garment. This is how you put the fringes on. You see this line? This is how you get the braids done. Because when you have your sons and your daughters, when you get your husband, he going to have hair that you're going to need how to braid. This is how you do the cornrows. This is how you put the grease in the parts. This is how you wash the hair. You understand? This is how you put the baby to sleep. Don't feed the baby like that. Make sure you put it on the top shelf. Don't leave the keys around. Don't leave those plugs open. The baby going to put it in their mouth. The aged woman, while she's sitting up in church thinking she's serving Jesus, thinking she's serving God, she's supposed to be teaching a younger woman in a house how to be a wife and a mother. You understand? That's the job. That's the woman that professeth godliness. You understand? As a matter of fact, let's pull that, because that's a very underrated job. You understand? A lot of times the kids is running the street because ain't nobody cooking food in the house. You understand? I know if I have to feed whoever is feeding your kids, that's their family. If McDonald's is feeding those kids, then that's McDonald's family. If they come home and you cannot put food in a plate in front of them, then somebody else is partially responsible for that family. You understand? They're not going to come in the house and go to sleep after you feed them if they got to go and find their own food. If they got to Grubhub and Uber eat some food, then, I mean, that's half the family time right there. Who are we going to eat with? You understand? Let's pull that real quick. Let me see. The aged woman. I think it's Titus.
So I got the scripture.
You got it? What scripture is that?
Titus chapter 2, verse 3. You was about to say it, sir.
Titus chapter 2 and verse where?
Verse 3.
Oh, perfect. Give me verse 3. Start right at verse 3. Let's get that.
Titus chapter 2, verse 3. The aged women likewise, that they be.
Oh, right. The aged woman likewise, meaning this is a woman that's an older woman. What is the Lord saying about an aged woman? But before we start reading this is attached to your point of the question that you asked, Sister Warwick. Just let me know if that answered your question or if you need some more on that. Just type in and let me know. All right. But we're going to read this Titus real quick because that attaches well to what we were talking about. Everybody just be sure to hit that thumbs up, hit that like, share, subscribe, hit that thumbs up button. Go and sign in for attendance. You on Instagram, sign in for attendance as well. All right. Check out our new, where's that podcast at now? The podcast up on Spotify.
Kind of a God, sir.
All right. You can check out what's on Spotify, The Form of All Things or The Bible is Black.
Kind of a God, sir. Both.
All right. Okay, Most High in Christ. All right. Check out that new podcast. What's the name of it so they can know to look it up? What's the name of it? Where they would search on Spotify.
Kind of a concert. This Isupk, Virginia. The Bible is Black. That's what should pop up. Everything.
All right. Y'all check out that Isupk Virginia, The Bible is Black. Those Bible is Black episodes, you understand, on Spotify. Isupk Virginia, you can look that up. Hear those on Spotify as well. You understand? All right. So now, the aged woman. Give me that verse 3.
Khan, sir. Titus chapter 2, verse 3. The aged women likewise, that they be in behavior as becometh holiness.
They got to be holy, meaning they being separate. They're going to set the standard for what it means. Oh, you understand? Somebody set a standard for what divorce was. Divorce was not acceptable in the black community. You understand? If you was a certain age and you didn't have a man, they thought something was wrong with you in the black community for a long time, because we were the people that made families. We were the people that pioneered marriages. White women wasn't getting married. Sisters was getting married. We were having marriages and families and big families. That's why they had to devise a way to break our families up. We were outbreeding them. Made way more of us in a shorter period of time if they left us alone. That's what the Egyptians were afraid of. That's why they told them to kill our toddlers. You understand? Same thing to this very day. Keep going.
Not false accusers.
Not false accusers. Not a woman that's out there lying. Not like Megan Thee Stallion sitting with Gayle King talking about, did you have sex with Tory? Can you repeat the question? Like, knowing damn well she's sitting up there lying, trying to, when you say have sex with, what do you mean? Like, you don't know Hot Girl Summer? You don't know what it means to have sex, Megan? You confused now. You understand? Like, it's just nonsense. You understand? All right. Like, not false accusers. All right. I got shot, but there's no bullet. There's no bullet wound. There's no bullet hole, but you shot me. And we weren't in a sexual relationship. Like, don't do that. Not false accusers. Don't lie and say that this is some man's baby when it's not his baby. Don't do that. Don't put some brother on child support, period. But for damn sure, don't go and file paperwork on a man when you know that this is not his child. Like damn Maury Povich. You understand? Don't do that. All right? Don't be that person. The aged woman is supposed to lead an example. Keep going.
Not given too much wine.
She's not given too much wine. This doesn't mean she can't drink, but she should not be given too much wine. She can't be, every time you see her, she drunk, falling off the chair, sitting in everybody's lap, trying to take everybody home, flirting with everybody, dress all falling off, tail hanging out everywhere, breasts out everywhere. Like she not given too much wine. This is a horrible example. Don't do that. The aged women should teach the younger women and to make it unacceptable for younger women to be that way. The authority that the older women had came from daddy. That's why that authority was so strong. That's why grandma wielded so much authority, because there was a man there that made what she say matter. You can do all the yelling and threatening that you want, but by the time I'm double your size, you understand, I'm stronger than you, I'm bigger than you, I halfway don't come in the house as it is. You can't really correct this man at 16, 17 years old. Now they have to learn from the streets. You understand? Now they got to learn from jail. Now they got to learn from the officer. Now they got to learn from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. You understand? But before, there was a father there, and that father's word held weight. Just, I'm going to tell your father, carried more weight than dialing 911 does. You understand? Like that was an important thing. That's why with the aged woman is supposed to teach the younger woman. That's very heavy what this is saying. So keep going.
And Salaki, teachers of good things.
Teachers of good things. What are the good things that she is supposed to teach? Keep going.
That they may teach the young women.
No, they're going to teach the grown man. That they're going to teach who?
The young women.
They're supposed to teach the young women. You understand? Keep going.
To be sober.
To be sober. Have your head. Be sober. Be sober about who you give your behind to. Be sober. You understand? There's a lot of lack of sobriety, understanding that sex equals marriage. That you have sex, you're going to get pregnant. It's the shock of a lifetime because the aged women are in church where sex is taboo and good and Christian and only allowed to be done with an adult and some kid against their will, or the damn preacher and some little boys, but not against adults with men and women and a man and his wives. That's unacceptable. You can't talk about that. That's under the table, around the corner somewhere. That's not, we don't discuss that. That's Christianity. That's why the first time most people find out that sex makes marriage and you end up getting pregnant is when they get someone pregnant at a teenager. The Lord intends for it to be permanent. And the Lord wants an aged woman to teach a young woman to be sober. Be sober about what you wear. Just because you got that body and those curves and you done grew some breasts now, that doesn't mean that you give it to the whole goddamn zip code. That doesn't mean you show it to everybody because you got one. You understand? Or you got a pair. That's the aged woman is supposed to teach them. Why is there such a divide between the aged women and between the young women? Why is there such a divide? Because the glue that held that family together was that father. And when you remove the father out of the house, the whole need for us to not be every man for himself was because the house was held together by that father. That was the most important unit in that house to deal with the problems, to deal with the discipline, to deal with the issues. And yes, we had plenty of problems as a people, but we were a nation that faced our problems together. Now we are facing our problems as individuals, and every man is for themselves. That's why it's such a divide now. Can't teach no young sister nothing now. Can't teach her mama nothing. Couldn't teach her mama anything either once she came from under the authority of the man who ruled that home, which is what our oppressor did. That's why it says they oppress a man and his house and his heritage. A woman is not supposed to have to go out there and find where she's going to get a husband. A woman is not supposed to go out looking for a husband. The father is supposed to find a man to continue watching over and caring for his daughter. The father is supposed to examine a man by his standards. You understand? Your mother's father was supposed to examine a man to meet his standards. You understand? Like these are important things. That's why the Lord said to be sober. You understand? Keep going.
Kanawakan, sir. To love their husbands.
To love who?
Their husbands.
Everybody's husband. Who?
Their husbands.
T.D. Jackson, Creflo Dollar.
Their husbands.
Whoever's on the TV. Who?
Their husbands.
To love your husbands. In order to learn how to love your husband, you got to first learn how do you get a husband. The aged woman is supposed to teach the younger women to be chaste and discreet and sober and love their husband. How do you get a husband? Sex is marriage. That's how you have a husband. An aged woman is supposed to teach the younger woman that. Sex is only important. It means something if you teach that it is important. But in the Christian church, they don't teach that sex is important. So everybody goes and learn on their own what Esau has to teach about sex. Then you got two women, you got two men, you got adults and kids, you got women drugging and molesting little girls. Nobody's talking about anything. Everybody just has to go and get high to try to forget all the horrible experiences. And then when the music plays, everybody sings and cries until you die of a drug overdose like Michael Jackson, Whitney Houston, Prince. And then you find out long after they dead that everybody get molested as a damn child. And the preacher and grandma knew about it, but nobody said anything because that's just how things work. Like the Lord wants you to have a sober mind. You understand? It takes men to put a sober mind on the nation. That's why the Lord gave a hierarchy, that a head, someone in charge. That's why Commander General Yahana teaches how to handle responsibility, how to talk with power and authority, how to think with power and authority, how to carry yourself a certain way so that you will be known as the men of power and authority. You understand? That's what these training are for. That's what these classes are for. That's what the breakdowns are for. That's what councils are for. You understand? That's what camp leaders and teachings are for. That's why we have generals and captains and officers. Like, that's why we have a nation that is set up that we are rebuilding. And it takes time, you understand, to undo hundreds of years of damage that our oppressor and his society has done to our people. All right, so keep going. To love their husbands. Read that again.
To love their husbands.
You have to be taught how to love a husband. You understand? How to love your husband. Many sisters have not been taught how to have a husband, how to be a wife to a man, how to live with a man. They've never seen anyone live with a husband, because their mother did not live with a husband. How the hell is she supposed to know? But there was a generation of aged women that did have husbands, that did raise children in the house, that not only raised children in the house and had a husband, that husband had a whole nother family on the other side of town. And she knew about that whole other family on the other side of town, and she still loved her husband. And she raised that house and those kids, and she followed his instructions. And you understand, that is a lesson that was supposed to be taught to our sisters. That the aged women, instead of dragging them off to church to sit up underneath a Eddie Long, you understand, and Pastor Touch-a-Lot in Copperfield, that they were supposed to be at home, teaching them how to prepare dinners and grocery shop and pick fruits and vegetables, and how to do hair and take care of babies and shampoo carpet and dust furniture and scrub feet and wash hair, you understand, and keep towels nice and fluffy and keep the colors from fading and keep outfits ironed and pressed and the home clean so people will want to live in it instead of run the streets all night and day because you keep the house looking like a goddamn zoo. They were supposed to teach them that. But instead, they taught women, thou art loose. What have you done for me lately? I'm grown. Don't nobody tell me what to do. You understand? Hey, shalom, Trisha Berkatha. All right. Shalom, warrior. Shalom, sis. Y'all, smaller thought she might shy. This is what an aged woman was supposed to be teaching younger women. You understand? To love their husbands, to obey that husband, to not fight that husband for authority over everything he say. He say, don't do this. Don't wear that dress. Well, I like it. It fit me this. I'm going to wear it anyway. You don't own me. You don't tell me what to do. That's how you end up being by yourself. To be sober, to love your husband. You love your husband. You're not fighting and making his life a nightmare. You're not cutting up his clothes and burning his Jordans. To love your husband. If he like to eat this, then prepare it for him. If you have some suggestions, you can use your femininity and you might be able to persuade. Well, why don't you try this, honey? Why don't you try this? I know you like this, but let me introduce this to you. Here, taste some of that. You don't have to be a monster and a dragon. The Lord gave you femininity for a thing. It's a very powerful tool if you know how to use it. It's also a horrible weapon if you wield it in an evil manner. We used to live in the Garden of Eden, and the first woman who was ever important, her name was Eve, or Kaya in the Hebrew. And she used her femininity as a weapon against her husband to teach him to disobey the Most High. And now we work 40, 50, 60, 70, 120-hour work weeks and spend 15, 16 hours away from our families on the road and in traffic at a slavery when we were living in the Garden of Eden. You understand? That's the first lesson in the Bible. And the Lord has it there for a reason. All right? So to love your husband. Don't turn on your husband, be evil to your husband. You understand? Don't do that. 2 years, 3 years, whatever the case, don't be evil towards your husband. If you love your husband, you will not go and have sex with his best friend. You won't have sex with another man. You won't do that if you love your husband. You won't be naked on the streets posting his tail for everybody to see if you love your husband. You won't be telling all of his business to the goddamn internet. Like, what is that? DJ Envy's rib on there talking about, I've been faking it for 10 years. You understand? Or what's her name? Jada Pinkett, the damn Red Table Talk. Or that disgusting Gabrielle Union. You understand? That Dwayne Wade, he got some horrible sickness. That brother looked terrible. He looked real sick, man. That Al Sharpton type sick. He looked real sick, man. I don't know. That evil thing, man. Telling your son he can be a little girl. And now got him in some relationship as a teenager, kissing and hugging on another. Like, it's all out of goddamn order. You understand? And it's evil as hell. And that sister does not love her husband. She hates that man. She hates all men. That's why she turned a little boy into a damn girl. You understand? An aged woman is supposed to teach the wisdom of an aged woman. I know y'all might be having this issue, but that's just a part of being married. It'll be fine. Y'all might have y'all disagreements and this and that, but this is a commitment. This ain't a run. This ain't a race. This is a marathon. This ain't something that's going to end. Y'all build it. You're going to do this and this. When you have the kids, this is what's going to happen. Once you get this is what's going to happen. Might be frustrated at the job. You got to comfort your husband. He come home mad. You got to learn what make him not be mad. You can't add to the frustrations on top of your frustrations. You can't do that. He going to go out and leave and not come back at all. You can't be in there nagging and yelling. You can't be in there leaving a mess every damn way. It's never no food ready. What the hell I'm coming here for? It's like me being on my own. What the hell am I here for? I get yelled at work. I come in, get yelled at. You know what? Let me just be in the streets. Let me go rob and kill so I can get what I want. You understand? That's why it says a virtuous woman, she looketh after her husband so that he don't have a need of a spoil. So if he not bringing in any wealth, then she go and get wealth and bring it to him. That's what an aged woman is supposed to teach a younger woman. That's what a virtuous woman with skill and ability is supposed to teach to a younger woman. Because you're not teaching her, all she learning how to do is to do whatever pleases her. And then when it comes time for her to try to be in a relationship where her life's goal is supposed to be about taking care of this man, even though she may have a career and business and jobs and skills and different things, that doesn't mean that a woman just had to be in a kitchen, all day barefoot and pregnant like Esau talked about. That was never the life that our sisters lived. Our sisters had jobs, had careers, had families, and had husbands. You understand? It was America's culture that they devised iniquity to teach our people to turn against each other. The Chinese families don't do that. The Arab families don't do that. The African families don't do that. The white families don't do that, even though that they make up that motto of life. The East Indian families don't do that. The Polynesian families don't do that. And this is only something that is targeted and attacking our people the most because we are the children of the Lord. Everybody else is in their own culture. You understand? So keep going.
To love their children.
To love their children. To love your children. You got to be taught how to love your children. You go and get a man, you lay down and have sex and have a baby. The first time that you ever learned something about taking care of children should not be when you find yourself pregnant. There's supposed to be some aged woman teaching you about how to be a mother. That's what all the cousins and the siblings is for. How to lay the baby down, how to feed, how to change pampers and diapers, how to deal with the teething and the toddler and potty training when you're tired of changing diapers, getting up in the middle of the night because the newborn don't sleep through the night yet, how to get the cradle crap out of the baby's hair when they're young. You understand? How to make sure you don't fall asleep on the baby and crush the damn baby. You understand? Don't sleep too light. Don't have your whole life trying to live your whole life when it's time now to have a family. You have to be taught to prepare for those things. Nobody's preparing sisters to be wives and mothers anymore because, that's the past. That's not equated with godliness, which God equates godly women to teaching the next generation of women to be wives and mothers, to keep at home, to take care of home, to care for her husband, to care for the children. That is what godliness is for a woman. They're not teaching that. Godliness to a Christian woman is going to church, being an usher, wearing the white gloves, singing on the choir, clapping, giving money to the church. That's not what God says godliness is for a woman in the Bible. We're reading it right here. It ain't said nothing about singing yet. Did we read any verse that said choir rehearsal One time. Did anybody see choir rehearsal? The usher board meeting? Is that in the Bible? That ain't in the Bible nowhere. Intercessory prayer all night, all day. Is that anywhere in the Bible? You don't see that no damn where. Because God did not say that's what a woman's supposed to do. John 1:1. All right, we're going to come to John. Damn right, sis. John 1:1. We're going to come to John 1:1 in just a moment. All right? So keep going.
To be discreet.
To be discreet. Don't have all of your business everywhere. You understand? Whatever you good at doing with your be that. You can share your pictures, share your family. You understand? These are my beautiful children. We having fun at the beach. We having, but it's some of your private business does not need to be on the internet. Everybody does not need to know all the private things and issues that you and your husband have going on. All of your family business and marital matters. Everybody does not need to know that. If you are calling to get counsel, there is a chain to go through to get counsel in a counsel setting so that you can have discretion and deal with the issue to get it resolved. Everyone is not supposed to be knowing your business. Everyone is not supposed to know, whatever is going on and all of that. Like, there's discretion. Discretion is not being taught. You understand? Tights are underwear. See tights on the damn street. You can see through all the way through your drawers. You're wearing tights on the streets. Tights is underwear. They go under the outfit. We can see through your tights because it's underwear. Nobody is telling you on the street wearing underwear. You understand? Bikini, that's a bra and a goddamn G-string. That's not to be out on the street or on the beach. Just because you got it don't mean you show it to everybody. That's discretion. That's not being taught. You understand? Like, these are things that an aged woman is supposed to teach. And then they say, oh, you old. That's old-fashioned. The fashion is one thing, but being discreet does not go out of style. You can be beautiful in your dress. You can be beautiful. You can show off your skill, your hair, your texture, all your colorful, your jewels and everything. You can still do those things and be discreet. You understand? Yeah, but as an aged woman is supposed to teach you that you are wrong for sitting down, you understand, doing an interview, exposing all of your personal business to the world. That you aren't allowed to just say whatever you want because your words represent your husband. You're not just saying whatever you want because you grown and you free. Your words represent your husband. Your body is not your body. That's your husband's body that you're representing. That's his tail you show into the world. Those his breasts you show into the world. You understand? Like, these are things that an aged woman is supposed to teach a younger woman. There's a complete break. You understand? Commander General Johanna is teaching it now because it's been decades of failures of passing along the proper information. But sisters making a comeback. We rebuilding families, rebuilding homes, rebuilding all of these things to repair the damage, like the scriptures say, to seal up the breaches. You understand? In our nation. Okay. I'm gonna come to you, John 1:1 in just a minute. I didn't forget you, brother, but keep going.
Chaste.
Chaste. What does chaste? What does that mean? Chaste. What does it mean? All right. What does that mean? What does it mean to be chaste? All right. Let's get the definition of that. Like an aged woman.
Con. Innocent, innocent or unlawful sexual intercourse.
To be chaste. To stay away from unlawful sexual intercourse. The aged woman sitting in church scared to teach about sex. Sex is not taboo in here. We're not Christians. The aged woman is supposed to teach the younger woman to not get trains ran on her for hot girl summer. You got to tell them, because if you don't tell them, they'll be all on the goddamn internet and in the stairwell getting trains ran on them while you go to work. That's why it's in the Bible. Read the definition again. So y'all see I'm not making this up. Read the definition again. Read it again.
Come. Innocent or unlawful sexual intercourse.
Teach her to be innocent of unlawful sexual intercourse. Teach her to be innocent from getting high with her girlfriends and trying out girls for the first time. I remember I was in high school and they had the passion parties with goddamn teenagers, the church girls, the choir rehearsal, everybody wearing the rainbow gloves. It was so many lesbians that brothers could not get dates for prom. They couldn't. I could, but they couldn't get dates for prom because it was so many lesbians that the lesbians was taking each other to prom. The brothers standing over there, all the women over here got the studs dressed like Lil Wayne, some dressed like Mr. T. Then you got the women that's dressed like women. It's just a whole bunch of goddamn mess. Well, the aged woman is supposed to teach the younger woman to be innocent of sexual immorality. Of sexual what? What's that word it said in the definition? Read it again.
Innocent of unlawful sexual intercourse.
Innocent of unlawful sexual intercourse. In order to know what is lawful, you have to be taught the law. If you in church learning that God's laws is done away with, like the preachers teach, then you will never know that you can't, lick on your best friend. You won't know because the preacher ain't going to tell you. All they're going to do is sing and ask you for $20. They're not going to tell you to be innocent of sex, that you cannot have sex with one boy at 14 and then have sex with a different boy 2 weeks later because the summer is over or the party is over or you don't want to be with him anymore or you don't like the picture that he posted. You can't go and have sex with another man ever for the rest of your life because you are married to him. And an aged woman is supposed to teach you that. You understand? So that you don't learn from MTV and BET and Meg Thee Stallion and Nicki Minaj and Rihanna, so that you don't learn from them. So you don't have to learn from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, the tree of the knowledge of good and herpes and gonorrhea and chlamydia and urinary tract infections. The aged woman is supposed to teach the younger woman. But if she got that Christian spirit, she's not going to say anything. You're going to have to learn from the streets. You're going to have to learn on your own. You're going to have to trial and error. You might have to abort a couple of babies because she ain't going to tell you that sex is going to get you pregnant. She ain't going to tell you. You're going to go to church and not learn a damn thing about the real world and life and ruin yours. That's why the only men supposed to be teaching this Bible is in the Isupk. We're not Christians in here. We're not moved by tears. We're not moved by emotions. We're not moved by money. We're not moved by death, hurricane, floods, wildfires, earthquakes, the Muslims, the police, prison, the FBI. We're not moved by anybody. We serving the Lord. You understand? The Lord killing, he make alive. That's what we stand on in here. You understand? To be chaste. The aged woman is supposed to teach the younger woman to be chaste. Keep going.
Keepers at home.
Keepers at home. Teach her how to stay in the house. Teach her how to not want to be in the streets all the time. Because when you're keeping at home, you know how to vacuum the house. You're not going to sit in a dirty house all day. Why? Because that aged woman is going to teach you to clean the house. She's going to teach you when it's time to vacuum the carpet, when it's time to do a load of clothes, when it's time to buy some more laundry detergent, how to keep the towels fluffy, how to keep the house smelling nice, how to keep this when the kids make a mess, how to keep the proper formula and diapers and medicine and the medicine cabinet full, and make sure it's toilet paper and tissue in the house and paper towels and the lights is good. Like she know how to keep a home. You understand? That's a valuable skill that you have to teach a sister. You would learn from your mother, but our families have been so destroyed. Not every sister has a mother. Some sisters grew up in a shelter. Some mothers is in prison. Some people is just old. So now an aged woman that professes that she knows the Lord, she's supposed to teach a younger woman. So that if her mother didn't teach her how to cook and be a wife and be a mother, that the aged woman who professes godliness, she can take her under her wing and be a sister to that sister so that we can get back to having families again. All right, keep going.
Good. Obedient.
Just be good. You understand? Teach her how to be good. How to not get in so much goddamn trouble. Teach her what to say out of her mouth so she doesn't offend everybody. How to not be rolling her eyes everywhere and talking down to everybody to where no one can stand her and she offends everybody everywhere she goes. How to not start a bunch of trouble. I'm going to get my brother. Well, F you now. I'm going to get my brother. You know my man be down here And before you know it, it's a whole ton of beef because she running her mouth, just like Jada Pinkett. That's how most of the hood beef start, with some loudmouth dragon that no one can tell to close your mouth. You talk too much. Don't say that. You are wrong. No, you're not free to say whatever you want. You're wrong. Close your mouth. Don't do that. Don't say that. You're wrong. A godly woman is to teach a young woman that she has to be chaste and discreet and know what to say, so that we can raise up wives and sisters and daughters and mothers, and no more whores and divas and monsters and dragons. Then we can have a society filled with families and mothers and children who come home, and actual homes instead of just places where we live. You understand? Keep going.
Obedient to
their own husband. My goodness. Listening to her own husband. Husband say, don't wear that, don't wear it. Get this color, wear that color. I don't like that color nail, don't get that color nails. I don't like that type of hair, don't get that type of hair. I don't like this hairstyle. I don't like this, don't cut your hair short like this. Don't do that style. Don't say that. I don't like it when you say that. Don't do this. Or do this. I like this one. I like it when you burn the edges of the pancake. I like it when the eggs are just a little bit rougher. I like it when the onions are a little bit burnt. I like it when this is a little bit crunchy. I don't like to eat this after a certain time. You know exactly how I like my sandwich. Like all of these things, these are just small examples. You understand? Or you know when it's time to refill the medicine. You already picked up the prescription. That's my baby. There you go. Like all of these things, this is what an aged woman, so that your life is not filled with just vanity, how I look, taking pictures, put my behind all on the internet, just traveling, going everywhere, which is the opposite of what a godly woman is supposed to be according to the Bible. They don't ever bring this out in church. If they did, it wouldn't be a bunch of women sitting in the church. There would be aged women teaching young women in a house somewhere how to keep a house and be a wife and a mother, which is what the Lord wants, which is so opposite of everything the Christian church teaches, because it's filled with women. You see what I'm saying? The answers is right here in the Bible. It's right here. But they don't know, because the Lord did not call them to teach the Bible. And that's why the Lord had us here teaching this now. Go ahead and finish that scripture out.
Kind of a God, sir. That the word of the Most High be not blasphemed.
That the word of the Lord not be blasphemed. That they won't be saying lies about the word of the Lord. Blasphemy is a wicked and evil lie against the Bible. You understand? Don't blaspheme the word of the Lord. Got some woman teaching the Bible. The Lord said, I suffer not a woman to teach. Got some woman talking about, I rule the house. It's me and Jesus. That's against the Lord. That's blasphemy. The Lord say the head of the woman is the man. If she'll learn anything, let her learn from her husband at home. A woman is not to usurp authority over the man. The husband is the head of the wife. Wives, love your husband as Christ loved the church. Be obedient unto your own husbands. You understand? As unto the Lord. Like that's what it says in the Bible. You understand? But in church, they teach to blaspheme the name of the Lord. All right. So let's get that brother's question. What you got? John chapter 1 and verse 1. Let's go to John 1 and 1 to get that question you had there. All right. John 1 and 1.
This is the book of John, chapter 1, verse 1.
Which is in the beginning.
In the beginning was the Word.
Go ahead.
And the Word was with God. And the Word was God.
All right. In the beginning, the most widely misunderstood verses and scriptures in the entire Bible are talking about what is in the book of Genesis. The beginning and the end, Genesis and Revelation are the two. They are not milk. There's no milk in Genesis and there's no milk in Revelation. Genesis and Revelation, they are filled with meat. They got scriptures that are milk for babes and for learning. And then they have scriptures that are meat, that are not for babes, that are very complex things to learn and understand about the Bible. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God, The word God in the Bible is referring to powers, powers or authority, like when you read in Genesis chapter 1 and verse 1. That's what this is talking about. It's directly going to and explaining the book of Genesis. All right. So to get this, you would need to go to the book of Genesis to see what's happening, what's being talked about. The book of Genesis, in the beginning, was the Most High. The Most High and the angels. The Most High is giving order and instructions to the angels to create everything. When it says God, God in Hebrew, which is what this John, the first chapter, is talking about, is not referring to the Most High. God in Hebrew is referring to the angels or the powers, you understand, or the Alahayim in Hebrew. That is what the God is talking about in Genesis chapter 1 and verse 1. All right. So, in the beginning, we at Genesis. Hold on, let me give you John. In the beginning was the Word. The Most High, his power, his authority, and the Word was with God. His power and his authority, the Spirit of Christ was with the Most High. You understand? The Most High gave his authority and instructions to the angels to do the creating. You understand? In the beginning, that's how it was set up. And the Word was God. There was no separation between what the Most High gave orders to do to the angels and what the angels actually did. There was no separation. Meaning the angels followed all of the Most High's orders to a T, how to create things. If you go to Genesis, the first chapter, which is what this is talking about, he's giving very specific instructions. In the beginning is Genesis 1 and 1. In the beginning, the most God, that God created the heavens and the earth. Let's get blue letter. Just a moment, blue. If you go to blue letter Bible, you'll be able to see. In English, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense in English because we're not English. And the word in English is not the same as what is going to be once we get it into Hebrew. So give me just a moment. Let's get Genesis. Genesis. Genesis chapter 1 and verse 1. Bara'ash. Bara'ashiath in the beginnings. Bara'ah. Alahayim. The third word, that God is Alahayim in the Hebrew. If you go to Blue Letter Bible, you'll see Genesis chapter 1 and 1. You understand? Bara'ashiath in the beginning or the heading. In is Ba. Ra'ash is the head or the heading or the beginning. Yath is plural. So in the headings or the beginnings, Bara'ah, Alahayim. Yum is a suffix that means plural. Allah is just like powers. Alahayim is referring to the angels. So in the beginning, the angels or the powers, they did the creating. They got instructions from the Most High on exactly what to create. That is what this John 1 and 1 is talking about. But you're going to need Genesis, you're going to need Hebrew to understand what it's actually saying. Because in English, it's not clear. All right. So that's what you were asking. If you go to blueletterbible.org, you can get the interlinear and see the Masoretic text. Once you type it in there, you'll be able to see it in English and in the Hebrew. You can click on the words and it'll break down what's being said. But that God that John 1 and 1 is talking about is the God that Genesis 1 and 1 is talking about, which is not the Most High. It's talking about the angels or the Alahayim. They got orders from the Most High on exactly what to create, and that's what they did. So briefly, we can go to Genesis chapter 1. Okay, we're still in Titus. Go to Genesis chapter 1 and verse 1. Let me close that out. Hold on, let me go back to Bible Gateway. Give me just a moment. Genesis 1 and 1, in the beginning, powers created the heaven and the earth. And the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God, the Spirit of the powers, moved upon the face of the waters. And the Lord has given instruction. The angels are doing the creating. Then it's going to describe what's being created. He's going to set up boundaries, going to set up firmaments, going to go and create and make space, then make planets, then make land and make water and make the sky and do the dividing and make land. That's what's being described in Genesis, that first chapter. This is what John, the first chapter and first verse, is referring to. All right. But John is kind of summing it up because John is writing accounts. You know, John is one of the scribes writing the events and his accounts of rolling with Christ. The same was in the beginning with the Most High. All things were made by him, and without him, nothing, not anything was made. All right. If you need more, I can get you some more. I can check with the general and come back to you. If you need more on that, just let me know. If that answers your question, just let me know as well. All right. If not, we're going to keep going. Okay. All right. So now let's go back to Micah chapter 2. And as a matter of fact, let's drop Micah. Let's go back to Micah. Go back to Micah chapter 2 and give me 2 through 4. Micah 2 and 2 through 4.
This is the book of Micah chapter 2, verse 2. And they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage.
They oppress a man and his house. Hey, no sweat, but Shemaf, Most High in Christ. They oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage. A man's heritage is what? The scriptures say children are an heritage from the Lord. Your heritage is your children, meaning they oppress our children. It's an oppression to a little girl to grow up without her daddy. There's so much vital information that children learn from what they see and what they experience, especially before they learn to talk. That's why the Bible says that you are to teach your children the law before they learn to read. That's to why I heard it wasn't sure, had to be sure. Okay, no sweat. Like you're supposed to teach your children these laws before they learn anything. Before they learn to read, before they learn to talk and walk, they're supposed to start learning these laws, statutes, and commandments. They're supposed to be teaching them. They're supposed to be seeing what the Lord wants them to see. They learn from everything they see. Disney is teaching them to be lesbians and homosexuals. Like that new Buzz Lightyear movie coming out. They got Buzz Lightyear as a homosexual, and he got a gay love scene where he kissing a fellow astronaut that just so happens to be a black astronaut toy in space with cornrows. That's who Buzz Lightyear has the gay kiss scene with. You understand? Like they oppress a man's heritage by making you not be able to speak against something that is against your people. Like you're supposed to be able to say, we don't accept this amongst our culture. It is supposed to be against our religious beliefs, against our nationality, against our racial beliefs, against our sexual preference beliefs that's tied to our religion and our nationality and our beliefs, and all of that is supposed to be tied to us because that is our culture. Like you're not supposed to be able to say these things. You can't teach Black and Hispanic kids this. You can't put this on TV. This is offensive to Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. We don't allow this in our culture. The same way that they say, well, you can't say those words because you'll offend the LGBT community. Where is the concern about the offense that their actions are taking from having this be promoted and visible by our children? That's why the Lord said, keeping these laws would be our wisdom and our understanding in the sight of the nations, because this is what would give us power. If all blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, if all of our 12 tribes stood and obeyed the Lord, they would have to strongly change how they deal and present things. They would say, well, I can't put this, just like you can't say anything bad about the Jewish man. They'll say, well, this is the Jewish defamation. You can't say this about us. You can't say this. Remember the Holocaust. You being insensitive. You being anti-Semitic. You can't say this. Well, guess what? If we keep the law, statutes, and commandments and say you can't put this as a cartoon, my kids watch these cartoons. You can't put that cartoon in a dress. You can't have that man kissing that other man cartoon. That's against us. This is against our laws. You can't do that. This is discrimination. This is, anti our way of life. This is against our beliefs. You promoting this to our children. You don't have no label against this for our children. You exposed our children to something that's against our racial beliefs, our ethnic beliefs, our religious beliefs. You're being anti-Israelite. You understand? That is how it would be if we obeyed the Most High. You understand? There's power in obeying the Lord. You say, you can't sell pork in this neighborhood. We're Israelites. We don't have pork here. You can't have that. This is against our beliefs. You are offending our religious and our racial beliefs. This is targeted against us. You trying to teach my people that pork and crab is acceptable, that homosexuality is acceptable. This is against us. You can't do this. We filing charges against y'all. They would be on the news apologizing. We're sorry to the Israelite community. We're sorry. We didn't mean to do it. We taking Israelite sensitivity training and courses. The same thing that happened if you offend any other nation of people. There is repercussion. And there must be repercussions in order for the other nations to learn that you are not free to behave towards us any type of way. Like that boating company. Y'all give the Israel, give the Lord a hand with that boating company. Well, we had that fishing trip down in Florida, and they decided that they was going to take us and not let us, keep any fish when we planned for a fish fry. But they didn't let us keep the fish, which is not what we paid for. And they drove unnecessarily fast, and sister got sick, and a couple of people I believe got sick, and they had to hear that they displeased the children of the Lord, that they have to know that there are repercussions for dealing with us incorrectly. And they had to get reviews left. They had to shut down the page and go and complain to TripAdvisor so that no more of their ratings could go and they couldn't do these things. Like, you have to suffer for doing things to our people. That is the only way that it's going to stop. You understand? And we turn back and obey the Lord and obey the order that the Lord set up. The other nations will suffer for how they treat us. You understand? So, give me that Micah. They oppress a man and his heritage. Skip me down to verse 4.
Verse 4. In that day shall one take up a parable against you, and lament with a doleful lamentation.
Meaning they're going to cry with a horrible cry. A lamentation is horrible cry and sorrow and suffering. They're going to take up a parable against you, against our oppressor. Keep going.
And say, we be utterly spoiled. He have changed the portion of my people.
He's changed our people. He's changed the nation of Israel. Keep going.
How hath he removed it from me?
They removed the children of Israel from the Lord with their lies, with the evil that they taught our people, with stealing our land. Keep going.
Turning away, he hath divided our fields.
He's divided our land, our fields. Take me to Psalms chapter 49 and 11. Baba Kishar, give me Psalms 49 and 11. Real quick. Like they took away the Lord's fields. That's what we play in Psalms, the 83rd chapter, who said, let us take to ourselves the houses of the Lord in possession. They said, let us take the houses of the Most High. Let us take the land of Palestine and Israel and all of our lands. They said, let us take it for ourselves. The tabernacles of Edom, everybody was in on it. The Ishmaelites, Moab, the Hagarim, The Moabites were our neighbors to our southern border. We border the land of Moab. You understand? Like they were always on our borders. But they took land that belonged to us. They were all a part of it because we went to war with all of those nations. You understand? Keep going.
God. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 49, verse 11. Their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever.
This is what our oppressors believe, that their houses shall continue forever. How do they continue their houses? How will they continue? They go and enslave us. And now that Rivera family that was supposed to die off when Edomites named Rivera couldn't produce enough sons. Now Isupk is going to keep that Rivera family going. Diaz and Santiago and Jenkins and Quinones and Calderon, all of those families were supposed to die off with them. Well, now we are in captivity and we are the Williams. We are the Jenkins and the Smiths and the Jones and the Griffins and the Greens and the Browns and the Johnsons and the like we are continuing their family's heritage by us taking their religion, taking their names, taking their customs, that Christmas, that Halloween, that All Hallows Eve, worshiping their fertility goddess with Ishtar and their Mayfair festivals with their Wiccan practices and their St. Patrick's Day. We continue their houses and their heritage by us taking their Islam. That family was supposed to go away, but now blacks and Hispanics dived into Islam. Their family and their heritage continues on because we have taken it up. You understand? So keep going.
God. And their dwelling places to all generations.
And their dwelling places to all generations. How do they get dwelling places for all generations? Keep going.
God. They call their lands after their own names.
They call the lands that they have stolen to continue their houses, they call them after their names. That's why Trinidad or Trinidad, that is after their heritage and their language. Puerto Rico, the port of riches, that is after their language and their land. Colombia, you understand? The Christopher Colon, Colombia. America, Amerigo Vespucci. Africa, Leo Scipius Africanus. Salvador, which means salvation. Mexico, you understand? Canada, Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, Haiti. It's a French name that they gave to the tribe of Levi for that island that they were living on. Venezuela, Colombia, Brazil, the Portuguese, we have their lands. Their lands are called in their language, their Spanish, their French, their Dutch, their Suriname and Guyana. You understand? Their Jamaica, their West Indies, the Windward Islands, the British Islands. You understand? The lands are called after their names to continue the houses of their families forever after they've murdered and enslaved and conquered us and pillaged us and forced us to take their God, their religion, their customs, their culture, to eat their foods. We didn't eat pork, crab, shrimp, and lobster in our land. Now, pork, crab, shrimp, and lobster, clams, and scallops is a part of the diet that we inherited from slavery, when we never were supposed to eat those things as Israelites in our own land by our own customs. You understand? We continue their heritage. That is what the scripture is talking about. That is what the previous scripture, in order for them to covet fields and steal them from us, they had to oppress our heritage to force us to continue their heritage. You understand? So that they can cut us off from being a nation. Go to Jeremiah chapter 12 and verse 9. Real quick. Jeremiah 12 and 9. Brother Shaw, let's get that.
God. This is the book of Jeremiah chapter 12, verse 9. Mine inheritance is as unto me as a speckled bird.
Read that again.
Mine inheritance is unto me.
Mine heritage.
My heritage is as unto me as a speckled bird.
The Lord's heritage is as a speckled bird. Very important thing to understand about the Bible. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, you are not black. All the 12 tribes are black. But you are not black because your skin is a certain shade of brown. You are not black because you have an afro. You are not black because your lips are a certain texture, your nose is a certain length or a certain shape. You are not black because your hips are a certain shape. You are not black because you can dance. You are not black because you talk very loud. You are not black because you have a thick beard or you don't have a beard. You are black because your father is one of the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. So-called Negro and the natives of North, South, Central America and the conquest of the New World and the transatlantic slave trade, that is what makes you black. The Lord said his heritage is unto him a speckled bird. This is a bird that comes in many different colors. It's still the same bird. Slavery did not make light-skinned people. That is a very dumb, a very ignorant, and a very Christian thing to think. That many of our people believe that no matter how educated they swear they are, slavery did not make light-skinned people. You understand? Slavery did not make the tribe of Judah light-skinned. Slavery did not make the tribe of Issachar dark-skinned. Slavery did not make the tribe of Ephraim light or dark-skinned. Slavery did not make very high yellow people. It did not make fair-skinned people. It did not make dark brown people, light brown people, gold people, yellow people, straight hair, curly hair, different hair texture, afro, no afro, thick nose, thick lips, thin lips, with rhythm, without rhythm, with curvy hips or non-curvy hips. Slavery did not make any of that. We were always different colors. We were always different shades. That has nothing to do with slavery. You understand? You can have two dark-skinned parents that have a light-skinned baby. That's nothing to do with slavery. You understand? Jacob and Rebecca, Isaac and Rebecca made Jacob and Esau. So two black people, one baby came out red all over like a hairy garment. The other baby came out brown like everybody else. You understand? It just so happened the Lord said that they were different nations. Our heritage has always been different colors, different skin colors. That's why the Lord called us a speckled bird. You understand? Keep going.
Oh God. The birds round about are against her.
The Lord is using us to equate the nation of Israel as birds. Now, if the children of Israel is a speckled bird, there are other birds that are around us, meaning the other nations who are also birds in this parable. They are against our type of bird. You got the sparrows, then you got the pigeons, which are a species of dove or yawanah in the Hebrew. Then you got the little brown birds. You got crows. You got seagulls. You got hawks. You got owls. You got falcons. You got all of these different types of birds. The other nation, God is equating them to birds, and they are all against us. All of them. You understand? There's not one nation of people that is not against us. No matter how friendly they are to you, no matter if they say good morning or they don't, if they smile or they do not, if you consider them friends or not, God said that nation is against you. It is by nature. You understand? That does not mean they have to physically do harm or something to you in order for them to be against you. You understand? Got to get rid of that concept, that individual salvation concept. They didn't do anything to me. Got to get rid of that. If you're going to be in the truth, you got to get rid of that. You understand? It's not about you personally. It's about your nation. Keep going.
Oh God. Come ye. Assemble all the beasts of the field.
Again, the beast of the field is another metaphor for the other nations. The beast of the field, the most subtle beast of the field is Esau, our chief oppressor, our oppressor. The other nations are also equated as beast of the field because like a natural beast, they'll come, they'll destroy. They'll tear it apart, they'll rip it up, They'll take dumps in the drinking water. They'll poison the beach. They'll bust holes in the ozone. They'll spread infectious diseases like SARS and like all of the other diseases that spread all over the world, like jaundice and the hay fever, because they don't know how to bathe regularly. They don't clean things. They drink blood. They eat animals that aren't dead yet. They spread diseases and bacteria everywhere. The Lord calls them the beast of the field. They're all gathered to devour our people. That is the only reason that you see another nation of people, is because they are there to devour you. And you have to train your mind to think that way. The only reason that any other nation of people is here on this land that belongs to Gad and Issachar is because they are here to devour resources that belong to Gad and Issachar. That's the only reason they're here. That's why Esau came. That's why he invited the Hamites. That's why the Moabites are here. The Elamites are here. All of them are here to devour what belongs to our nation. You understand? That's why they're in the Middle East. That land belongs to us. That's why they're over there. All right? So keep going.
God, come to devour.
Keep going.
Verse 10. Many pastors have destroyed my vineyard.
Many pastors have destroyed my vineyard. Keep going.
They have trodden my portion underfoot.
They have crushed the Lord's portion. The pastors have crushed the nation of Israel. It's always been the problem, the pastors. That's why if you call yourself a pastor, you have to be completely ignorant of the Bible. The entire New and Old Testament, God in the Bible and the prophets and disciples he rose up have always been against a pastor. Always. Keep going.
God. They have made my pleasant portion a desolate wilderness.
What does it mean they've made it a desolate wilderness? A vineyard is a place where things grow. Fruits and vegetables, they grow on a vine. Cucumbers grow on a vine. Squashes and gourds, which is a type of vegetable, they grow on a vine. Grapes grow on a vine. You got cherries, tomatoes, they grow on vines. You understand? Different fruits and vegetables grow on vine. These are things that bring you wealth and riches. You can feed your family. You can feed your people. You can have economy. You can grow. You understand? Now that you have sustenance for your nation, for your people. Well, pastors have destroyed it, and they made it a wilderness. What is a wilderness? A wilderness is a place that does not have resources because the pastors have stolen all of the resources. Billions of dollars of wealth to take care of blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are in the personal bank accounts of these Christian preachers and all of these damn churches and these mosques. That is where our wealth and resources are. You understand? Keep going.
Verse 11. They have made it desolate. And being desolate, it mourneth unto me.
It's nothing but mourning because of these pastors. The resources are gone. Education is hard to come by. The books are hard to come by. The paint, you understand, housing is hard to come by because all of the wealth and resources, they have it and they hoard it to themselves. Keep going.
God. The whole land is made desolate because no man layeth it to heart.
Because no man lays it to heart. Nobody has a heart or a mindset. It's a slang. You lay it to heart. I got it on my heart. That means your mind. Your heart doesn't think. It's just an organ that pumps blood. No man has it in their mind to make sure that there are resources available for the Lord's people. The pastor doesn't care. The pastor is trying to get a bigger church in a better side of town so that he can be mayor one day. He ain't concerned about you losing your home in the ghetto. If he was, they wouldn't take millions of dollars to build a mega $1 million church instead of taking those millions of dollars to house the members in the damn church or to feed and clothe and take care of them, which is what the money is for, which is what the tithe is for, but you're not paying your tithes to church. You're giving them to a robber. The only place you can pay your tithes is to the Isupk because that's the only place that the Lord actually set up where the men of God are. All right. So we up over the time. All right. We're going to go ahead and end that there. All right. security announcements. We at the ISUPK, we start out at 1 West 125th Street in Harlem, New York. We've been on the street. We've been teaching since 1969. We're all under Commander General Yohana. You're not in the ISUPK. You're not in the truth. We are not affiliated with any other Hebrew Israelite group. Tithes, which is a commandment from the Most High. 10% of every penny of any increase the Most High gives to you, you give to the school. You give to your camp leader. You go right to isupk.com. You can pay it right there. Take the money right out your account and email your receipt right to your email. You get a check. You get a stimulus check. You do some job. You cut some grass. You find $20 on the ground. Hit the lottery. Get your tax return. Whatever. Any increase you give, 90% of that money belongs to you. 10% belongs to the Lord. That money of the Lord you need to give to the ISUPK. You understand? All right. Rule for new brother and sister. When a brother and sister comes into the school, they're off limits for 6 months. They're here to learn and share themselves with the world. They'll be saluted only. After that, if a brother or sister has a particular interest in anyone, they have to seek counsel from the head to speak to a brother or sister. Very important rules. You understand? To save your life, save you from you understand, making huge mistakes that you cannot undo. Cannot undo these mistakes. Many mistakes you cannot undo. You understand? After that, if they are approved, there will be an additional 6-month period where they will be given permission to continue on or to marry, or they will be denied. You understand? There's a process, protocol, and procedure. If you are dealing with someone who is in the world, which is not wise, as a brother or a sister, you had better be even more wise and cautious dealing with someone in the world who is not taking an oath to uphold God's laws, statutes, and commandments, and who is not committed to this way of life in serving the Most High that we are in here. You understand? You need to take that into very strong consideration. All right? Upcoming high holy days right now, we just finished the Feast of Unleavened Bread. We just did the closing for the Feast of Unleavened Bread. We got next upcoming high holy day. What's the next high holy day coming up? What's it? Tabernacles?
Salaki, sir.
First fruits.
We're in the Feast of First Fruits right now.
The Feast of First Fruits. When that flyer is up, everyone will have it. All right. When is the Feast of First Fruits? We got a date for First Fruits yet?
Kind of a con, sir. I have we have that the paper just came out not too long ago, sir. Kind of a con.
All right, no sweat. Everybody's going to get that notification when the next high holy day is coming up. It'll be the Feast of First Fruits. You'll get the dates in your emails. You'll see it all over everywhere, all over the internet. All right. Lastly, if a brother wants to become a trooper in the school, they're to be in all black boots, shirt, pants, headband, war scarf. Contact the school in your area, your zone. We got schools in all over Europe, all over Central and South America, all in Canada, all throughout the United States, all throughout the Caribbean. Chances are there's a school, a contact number in a zone near you. You got in the Netherlands and in Europe, all over South America, Brazil, Canada, Puerto Rico, Haiti, Dominican Republic. There's a contact number. Trinidad, Jamaica. Contact the school nearest you. Let them know you want to be a trooper. You want to be a part of the school. They'll tell you exactly what to do, what to meet, when to call, when to check in. Take that seriously. If you're serious about being a part of the school, you better fight to be in here. Satan will try everything to stop you. Your mama, your kids, your job, your dog, your woman, everything. Any and everything that is more important than you fighting to come up in this truth, to be a trooper, to get into the work of the Lord, it is all going to stop you. Any and everything will stop you. You understand? Contact the school in whatever area or zone that you are in so that you can get on the path and get in the fight to get in to do the work. You understand? Sister, same thing. You cannot be a trooper. You want to be in the school, make sure your head is covered. Everybody pay your tithes, be in your all black if you are a brother, wants to be a trooper. Next class we have coming up is going to be the Hebrew language class on Friday nights. Y'all tune in. We got our series right on YouTube. The Bible is Black. You can catch the first 30 episodes. They're up on ISUPK Virginia and No College Richmond. You also have the former of all things, highlighting the Black inventions and contributions to the culture and society all around the world that you see today that comes from our 12 tribes. That is up. We are on Spotify. You can look up Isupk Virginia on Spotify. You can listen to The Bible is Black. Our episodes are on Isupk Virginia. Look it up. Look us up on Spotify. Listen to us on those podcasts as well. And with that, we're going to give one courtesy salute to the brothers, men of Israel. I'll Shalaki. One courtesy salute. Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shabbarakatham. To the sisters, Yahweh Shamar Al Athan by Hashem Yahweh Shai. With that, shalom.